The notebook thought experiment is suggested in the book The Big Defreeze of the Universe. It could help explain the two worlds interpretation proposed in the book as well. The analogy goes that we have a notebook of, let's say, 120 pages of holographic two-dimensional films. These 120 pages would be representing our multiverse. There might be other notebooks with different stories, but this is beyond the target of this analogy. If Alice, which is standing outside the notebook, looks at the two-dimensional holographic page of our universe, she wouldn't be able to tell what this thing is a hologram of, unless she shines a light on it in order to see the three-dimension representation of reality of this holographic film. Technically, Alice is outside the space-time of this holographic film, and she would be shining light from outside it. What if she wants to change the coding or the information on the holographic film? Alice, from her location, cannot change the code on the two-dimensional holographic film, yet, according to the two worlds interpretation presented in the Big Defreeze book, Alice is having a second version of her in our universe's page on that holographic film. The second version of Alice does have the ability to change the code using the mechanisms proposed in the straight line analogy mentioned in the Big Defreeze book as well. So, what is time in the notebook thought experiment? From Alice's perspective, she's just seeing a two-dimensional holographic film in this notebook. Information is coded in two dimensions. The definition of time in these two dimensions is not clear for her, or could even be irrelevant for her. The two worlds interpretation tells us that Alice could be having another version of her in the universe, which is coded on this holographic film. This information is reconstructed in three dimensions or even more. When Alice shines a light on it and starts moving the light along the holographic film, then things start to happen and time starts getting a relativistic meaning. Alice is not controlling her version in our universe. She is just merely shining a light on the holographic film to represent it in three dimensions of space and sort of give time meaning. Alice doesn't have the ability to change the code. However, her version in our world does have the ability to change the code, as explained in an analogy called the straight line analogy in the Big Defreeze book as well. From Alice's frame of reference, everything is happening or happened now, including the Big Defreeze, if proven correct, the Big Bang, inflation, formation of galaxies, evolution, and the end of the universe. If she shined the light at the correct part of the holographic film, she will see one part of the movie. However, Alice is really not interested in that, as her main job is shining a light for her version of our universe to get represented in three dimensions. She might not have the ability as well to shine a light except on the section of the holographic film where her second version's information is coded. Bob happens to be shining a light on the holographic film for his version of our universe to get represented in three dimensions at the same period of time when Alice is shining a light too. Time in their frame of reference is different from how their versions in our universe sense time. Basically, the versions in our universe would perceive time as a function of the flow of events, which gets represented in three dimensions as a result of shining the light from their other versions.